Good morning or good evening to wherever this finds you. Welcome to the Fun Hog Pod with your hosts, Matt Cook and Butch Mayhew. Let's let that fun ensue. We're ready. Let's do this.
Welcome to the Fun Hog Podcast. My name is Matt Cook. I'm excited to be here. I've got my co-host Butch Mayhew on scene, and we've got a special guest tonight, Mr. Tim Muir. Tim, welcome to the Fun Hog Podcast.
I am finally glad to be here.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah? Has there been some buildup? Have you just been waiting?
Yeah, I check every week and I don't get a text message, I don't get a call, and it's soul crushing, to be honest. But I finally got it and I am so excited to be here.
For our listeners who've never been invited to be on a podcast, what was that moment like when you first heard those magic words, "Will you be on a podcast?"
Life changing, actually. It was life changing, and I for the first time in months did not cry myself to sleep.
Wow. Is Sox, was he upset that he couldn't be on the podcast?
Yeah, he was not invited, so he's deciding to bark for the first time today during this podcast.
I mean, he made it. He made it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome. Well, we are
Thank
glad
you.
You're here, Tim. And I heard Matt pronounce your name Muir.
He pronounced it correct. Muir.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Muir.
I always, in my mind, I always read it as Muir. Is that right?
Muir.
Muir.
Muir, yeah. The middle name is a little rough too, but Muir is the last name.
Got it. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Is that Greek or what's that?
It's
origin?
German. Yeah, German. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Timothy Ruark Muir.
Nice.
That's a fun one. There was a time where I wanted to go by my middle name, but that phase came and went.
I think I missed that. Could you spell that middle name for us?
Ruark.
R-U-A.
That's right. Yeah, Ruark. Family name.
Did you pass that down to any of your kids?
No, I didn't. Much to the chagrin of my father. But they did get my father's name, so Noah John. That's his, that was his first name. But yeah, no Ruark.
Maybe a little generation skipping. Maybe your grandkids can
Yeah, that's a good. I might put that plug in. That's a
bring
good
that
idea.
back.
Yeah, see how that goes.
Awesome. Well, Matt, you got a fun hog moment?
I've got a fantastic Fun Hog moment. Over the July 4th weekend, I took my family to Dollywood. Incredible place. Not actually our Fun Hog moment, though. So, but it leads up to it. I'm a big fan of souvenirs. So,
Wait, like spoons?
Yeah.
Are you a spoon collector?
Snow globes.
Those are trinkets. No, these are souvenirs. So pretty much every major trip we go on, the boys all get to pick out a souvenir. And sometimes they pick out a T-shirt. My older son got a hat. My middle son got a hoodie. My younger son, though, I'm a big fan of ridiculous souvenirs. so whatever he wants, he gets. So he gets a pop gun, which just one of those little shotgun pump action deals. It's ridiculous. We obviously didn't need it, but whatever, it was fine. But that leads to my Fun Hog moment. So a couple days after the vacation. Now, it is scorching hot in Memphis. I mean, I think the heat index was 1,000 today. I mean, it's crazy. Like you just melt as soon as you go outside. But so I was over here. I was sitting in my computer, and I can see kind of in my front yard is right outside this window. And so my youngest son, he's 8. He just comes flying through the front yard, and he's wearing a toboggan, one of those winter hats. And a COVID mask, and he's just pumping his pop gun.
That's
That's why I buy souvenirs, so that you can just relive glory moments, just wearing COVID masks and just reinventing yourself. So
You got video of that, right?
I have no video.
Oh,
It just lives on in my mind, and now in the legacy of this podcast. So
So is this like cops and robbers?
I believe so. I didn't even actually talk to him about it because I was in the middle of something, and it was several hours before I saw him again. But so yeah, just whatever it was fun hog.
Amazing. Hogging
awesome.
all the fun.
That's right. Tim, your first time on the pod.
Yeah.
Do you know what a fun hog moment is? In your own words, what is a fun hog moment?
Moment that's just an epic moment that will live on in time, like just an experience that lives on.
Solid definition.
Yeah. My fun hog moment. So my son got diagnosed with mono, not fun hog, but diagnosed with mono last Monday, and so he unfortunately can't have any contact for 3 weeks. No contact.
That's like no kissing girls, right? That's the big downer.
Definitely no kissing girls, but when I say contact, I mean athletic contact. So he can't play basketball, he can't play football, and he had he plays on the top Colorado basketball club team here in Denver, and he was supposed to go to Atlanta, and that got canceled, and he was crushed. And so, being the irresponsible father that I am, I said, well, you can't have contact, but let's go to Arizona and watch a baseball game. And so me and my two boys and my father-in-law hopped a plane to Arizona on Friday and stayed at our house down in Scottsdale. Swam. He slept all day, but I swam, and went to a baseball game. Went to Topgolf, and just the overall experience was definitely a fun hog weekend. And he came back healthier than when he went. So it was good. Yeah, feels good now.
Awesome.
Still can't have contact though.
Who did the Diamondbacks play?
The Blue Jays. Yeah, the Blue Jays, and boat raced them. Yeah,
Nice.
boat raced them.
Nice. Did you get those pool seats at the Diamondback Stadium?
So they wanted to.
No contact.
Apparently you have to have a group. I'm not sure that would have stopped us. He can have. When I say contact, I mean like athletic contact. He can be around people. It's only passed through saliva. So as long as he's not making out with anybody. We looked into it, but you have to bring a group there to get the pool, and so that wasn't going to happen. But he took a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. Well
That's
worth it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love how you turned that frown upside down. That's great.
It was touch and go on Friday. I was like, we might need to cancel this because the dude was passed out all day. I'm like, are you even going to be able to get on an airplane? And I have a picture on him in the airplane, passed out. I mean, it was touch and go for a little bit, but he ended up being fine.
Yeah. Glad he bounced back.
Yeah.
Butch, how about you, man?
Yep. Mine goes back to Father's Day. So this Father's Day, my wife and kids gifted me with a grill for Father's Day. They actually just printed off a picture of a grill and said, go pick one out. And, I'm that gave me some opportunity to search around and look. And I'm a pretty budget friendly guy, but I want something good. So I actually ended up on a Traeger after talking to my meat mentor. I have a meat mentor now, in case y'all don't know, Mr. Sam Higginbotham. I appreciate your service to me and just your coaching, your feedback, your mentorship that you're providing me. And he spent a lot of time just giving me, what's the lay of the land without me having to read a whole lot of stuff. And I've been barbecuing, boys.
That is awesome. What's your favorite thing to cook?
Well, I've only cooked a few things, but I've cooked ribs twice, and
Nice.
the second version of ribs came out on Sunday, and they were, my first ribs came out at like 11:30 at night because timing is hard.
Yeah.
Classic.
My second was at 9:30, so I'm getting the timing a little better. But these ribs were fantastic. They were fall off the bone ribs, some St. Louis, and it was fantastic. So
That's
I've
awesome.
been enjoying those and sharing them with people. And but big shout out to Sam Higginbotham, and I've got like a backup meat mentor, a guy named Jonathan Leftwich. Yeah, I appreciate your input and just you listen to me geek out over meat, over smoked delicacies.
Is that an insult, or is that a prize role to be someone's backup meat mentor?
I don't know. Let us know, crowd. I mean, I hope it's a good thing. I look at it as a positive because I just have more people in my life just helping me know about meat, and it's good.
You got one A and one B. They're both number one.
They're both number one.
If you haven't checked out Meat Church, check out Meat Church. I got a pork butt ready to go in the next day or so.
Oh, buddy. Well, that's one on that's like the top 5 list of my meat mentors. He's prepared me well, so
Yeah.
I know about the Meat Church.
Yeah, Meat Church is money for sure.
Do you have any, we just got off the bacon episode. Have you put bacon on your Traeger yet? Have those two met?
So, I mean, when it comes to it, I have not. But since the last episode, I have, consumed quite a bit of bacon, which is just as good. But no, I have not tried that yet. I was told by Mr. Jackson, he let me know, Jackson from the Noodles episode, if y'all remember, he let me know that he smokes his bacon and it comes out real good. But
Smoke? How long does that take?
Smoked bacon, it depends
less
on
than
what
an
temperature.
hour. I don't think it takes too long. So
Candied bacon is on the smoker is really good too. If you haven't had that.
I mean, it's real thin. It's all thin and stuff. It'll be fine. So
It's good stuff.
it is good, but I have not attempted to smoke any bacon yet.
I have a Traeger, and it is by far my favorite grilling utensil. I love my Traeger.
Same. Yeah. We were not sponsored by Traeger, but Traeger, if you'd like to sponsor a podcast, this would be a good one to do because you got a lot of Traeger fans over here.
A lot of Traeger fans.
But let's not live in the past with last week's episode. This week, what's our word, Tim?
Glove.
Glove.
Glove. Yep. Nice.
You got to come in a little more with the video. Our videos are all like this.
Oh,
I see blue. You got the blue gloves.
You got the Dexter gloves on. Dexter gloves.
Those look thick too.
these, I actually think I got them when I got my Traeger. That was one of the things I read is you need, some good gloves to clean with. I think that's why I got these. I think this podcast is the first time I've legitimately worn them. They're kind of melted on the inside, so they're not the best. But, as I was thinking about the word glove, I just really wanted to bring it strong tonight. And I'm pretty excited about this episode. I've got a couple ideas on where it's going to go, but I think we're going to explore some uncharted territory around the gloves here.
It sounds great. Well, let's jump right in. What do you got for us, Matt?
All right, famous gloves. We got to start with OJ, right?
100%.
Yeah, if the
Don't
glove
fit.
don't fit, you must have quit. Yeah, let's just tell our own OJ stories, right? So Tim, roughly how old were you when the OJ sitch happened, and how'd you process that?
I think I was in junior high, so I don't know the exact age, but I do remember my mother. I was playing basketball outside, and my mother called me inside to watch it, and I was upset because I was about to beat my buddy, my neighbor, and it was game point, and my mom made me quit the game, and so I forfeited. In my neighborhood, if you left and mom called you, it's forfeit. It's
yeah.
Sorry, dude. And so I had to forfeit that game and come in and watch the OJ saga unfold. That's my memory of that situation. And then
Was this the beginning of the OJ saga or the end?
it was the beginning. It was literally driving down the highway in the Bronco.
Yeah, the car chase.
Yeah. The end, I was in high school, and I remember ditching class to go and listen to the verdict on the radio. I think I was a sophomore in high school when that happened. Because remember, the trial was it took forever for the trial to start.
Yep. All I remember about O.J. Simpson was, it was the white Bronco, and it going on forever.
Forever.
The dude was driving forever. Like, what in the world? Like, why? Like, I think the media made it way bigger than it would have ever been
Sure.
if they would have just, put the right blockade in place or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's wild.
What is that tire? The things that blow out the tires? Like, we could end this right, but he said he was going to kill himself. I think that's why they weren't willing to stop the Bronco. But yeah, what a moment in history that was.
Yeah, but I think it was like the great precursor to the internet. It feels like it was just a few minutes before the internet. And
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine like with Twitter, like how different that would
Oh.
have been? I mean,
Okay, so in this day and age, would he be guilty?
yeah.
Like today, would he? I mean, that's not what I meant. I know. Would he have been convicted today if that happened?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. I mean, yeah.
Right? You'd like to think like there's no way he gets off today. No way.
Yeah, it was just it was a different time where our athletes had a sense of trust, and celebrity actually meant,
Yeah.
you know, you could truly
Sure.
get away with things. And yeah.
Yeah.
The OJ, there's a series, I can't remember if it's on Netflix or some other streaming service, but it's a pretty good. It'll take you back, kind of going through the trial. You know, that was the Kardashian dad was the lawyer, and so
Yep.
that was really his kind of entry point into mainstream, society. So it's got some wild characters, and there's all kind of celebrities who make appearances throughout. So, yeah.
You going rollerblading, Matt?
What is this?
For our audio only listeners, Matt now has his bare knuckles, bare knuckle
UFC
gloves with his fingers
gloves.
exposed. Yeah, UFC gloves. That's what it looks like.
These are my impact gloves. So these have gotten quite a bit of use. So I work out a lot with a group called F3 here in Memphis and across the country. But so F3, it's an outdoor men's workout group, and it's pretty hot in Memphis, like I mentioned, and so fingerless gloves are just perfect. We do a lot of burpees and push-ups and that sort of thing. So this protects my precious keyboard fingers from all the push-ups on the ground.
You'll typically work out in like parking lots.
Yeah.
So it's gravel. It's
Tires.
It's,
You got tires.
pavement.
We do some tire flipping. Yeah, it runs the gamut. Sandbags, concrete blocks. So again, you got to protect the keyboard fingers. Right.
So how many are in this group?
So we've got 26 locations in Memphis, and I get an email every once in a while about how many there are nationwide. It's
I mean, in your group, how many are in your group? Like, how many do you work out with on a given? What I'm trying to find out is who all wears gloves. Just you?
So it's about 10 to 15 guys at each session, right? I mean, it just depends, but about 10 to 15. And typically someone will say before the workout if you need to bring anything. So like sometimes we run and you just say, bring your running shoes. Sometimes we'll throw sandbags around, say bring a sandbag. Sometimes it'd be just gloves only.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, so it could be anything, but they'll say beforehand. But the toughest guys do not wear gloves. I'll give you that. They'll bear crawl in a parking lot with no gloves. But
Yeah.
Tyler Purcell, is he wearing gloves?
he probably wears some gloves. Yeah, Tyler's a big F3 guy. He's the ultimate standard of an F3 guy.
But he
So,
wears gloves, you say?
yeah, that's fine. It's not just about brute force toughness. You got to be smart too.
I mean, in high school, in lifting for football in high school, you wore gloves and you were going to catch some stuff from the team. So gloves were not allowed.
We grew up in the water makes you weak days too, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's like,
That's
man,
true. Yeah.
turns out water is really essential to optimal performance
That is
on
so
the football.
true.
We drank Coke at halftime during my high school football games.
Yeah.
So
We'll load up on some Dr. Pepper, boys.
yeah,
Get back out
you
there.
looked a little sluggish in the first half there, son.
My son tried to convince me yesterday that Coke at halftime would actually benefit him in his athletic endeavors, and so that was it's fun having a conversation with someone who's just not realistic about health. I just can't do it. Can't do it.
Truth. All right, our next great glove in history is, so we're gonna go basketball. Tim, I know your wife is in a Hall of Fame, So, as a basketball player, I'm going to throw this question to Butch because this is a softball if you're at all into basketball. Butch, can you tell us who the glove is?
The glove.
The glove.
Magic Johnson.
I can give him a hint. I don't know if it'll help. I can give him a hint.
Doesn't feel like it's going to help.
Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Well, I mean, he's in the right sort of era. I mean, it was towards the end of his career. He famously said that he could shut down Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals.
The Isaiah Thomas. He's the person, right?
That's a great guess, but
Great
incorrect.
guess. Yeah.
I mean, I know him and MJ don't really get along, right?
Very
No.
good. Yeah.
They do
So
not.
Gary Payton is who we were looking for there. Longtime Seattle Supersonic. Great guy. A great NBA player. So I've got a couple of stats here, and then I'm going to throw a little trivia over to Tim. So Gary Payton, he finished 38th all-time in points in NBA history, or currently. Several people are passing right around 21,000 points. 11th in assists. He was a point guard, so he was distributing the ball quite a bit. And his primary stat, the reason he was known as the glove, is because he was incredible at stealing the ball. In his current standings, he's 5th all-time in steals. Tim, don't be Googling this now. This is just straight up
Google.
you. All right.
No Google.
Can you name the 4 players ahead of Gary Payton in steals history in the NBA? All of them are very famous.
Westbrook,
Westbrook, incorrect.
Jordan,
Michael Jordan, number 4. Very good.
number 4. Okay. This might be a stretch, but Jason Kidd,
Jason Kidd, number 2.
number 2. Steve Nash.
Steve Nash, not there.
Man, I can't believe Westbrook's not one of it. Is Magic Shaquille O'Neal? Is he one of them?
No, it's another point guard. Maybe the point guard.
Jerry West.
Ooh, not quite that old.
Yeah, Pistol Pete, the point guard, the best point guard to ever play the game.
All-time assist leader.
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen.
It's not Steph Curry, is it?
No, he played with the mailman.
Oh, John Stockton.
John
Jiminy
Stockton.
Christmas.
You got it. John Stockton.
John Stockton.
Great one.
Golly. Yeah, he was crafty.
I would have guessed Jason Kidd, by the way.
Really? Now, how do you know Jason Kidd?
I collected cards as a kid, so I had some basketball cards. I got a Fleer medal, Jason Kidd, in a binder somewhere in the attic. It's great.
He was fun to watch. Jason Kidd was fun to watch. I liked him. John, I can't believe I missed John Stockton.
Matt now has some, what are these, garden gloves?
These are just your standard issue garden gloves. I started thinking about this gloves episode. There's a tremendous variety of gloves out there. I think I only get about half the gloves in my house. And, I mean, so these are just, your standard issue garden gloves. But, man, I tell you, if you're gardening and you get the right gloves out, it makes a difference, right?
100%.
If you garden with oversized gloves, you can't pull weeds. Obviously, you don't want to garden with too tight of gloves, so these are just right.
Gardening gloves.
Nice. Those are like nice and leather, too.
Yeah, these are tougher. These are probably like little weeds. You can kind of get into some briars, maybe not too thick, but a little bit briars. No problem.
What are I don't even know what briars are. What are briars?
What?
Yeah. So landscaping is not in my wheelhouse in any capacity.
I mean, I wonder if that's a Colorado thing because, there's not many trees in Colorado, so maybe there's not many briars, but it's literally just a plant that has thorns on it. So, a
They
rose.
poke you. I call them pokies.
Yeah.
Pokies, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of those here, but names of stuff, I might know what an aspen tree is. That's about it.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a little more
Well,
about
let me
than
tell
know.
you a glove story. So we're in sports. I'm going to swap the sport a little
It's not
bit.
a love story, but a glove story.
A glove story. It could be a glove story. Let's talk about this. So, in middle school, this was like 6th grade middle school, Little League baseball. I played pretty much since third grade or so, growing up from coach pitch to, older kids pitching. And I think I was 12 or 13. I played center field, which I'm a bigger guy. I don't move that fast, but I was pretty good at catching the ball. And I was using a Ken Griffey Jr. glove, with the signatures in there.
Yeah.
So a Ken Griffey Jr. glove. I had it since like third grade. I'm going to sixth grade. So this thing is like pretty small. So, I mean, my hands here, it's probably an inch or two above my fingertips playing center field.
Small
What
glove.
in the world was I thinking? I don't know. But I was playing out there, and, when you're younger, there's always that kid that has the mustache at like 14.
Yeah.
Well, the kid with the mustache in my life, he was also a really fast pitcher and a really good hitter. And he stepped up to the plate and jacked one to center field, line drive. I tracked it down, went to go grab it, I was kind of watching it come to my hand, but it tipped off the top of my glove and hit me square, like, in the eye. And all I remember after that was, like, wetness and blackness and intense pain. And after that moment, I actually have the glove somewhere. It's like in one of our like kid, our baseball box that we have.
Sure.
It's still got some blood on it, so it's kind of cool to like show my kids like, this is my blood from when I was 13. But I didn't break a nose. I think it was fractured, but there was no surgery needed or anything like that. But after that, as a 13-year-old, I was scared of the ball. Like, I was never as good as I could have been, after that accident or after that incident. And that was my baseball story. That being said, I was gifted like a larger glove, so I actually have one that can catch stuff that has a deeper pocket. And I think I could catch fly balls now. I mean, we've played a little around with people, and I'm not scared anymore. I also know how physics works. Like, hey, if the ball's going really fast and like it's actually gonna slow down a little bit coming off the bat. So, but I just had like an intense fear of like I don't want to get hit in the face again, and it reminded me of that boxing quote, right? You always go in a boxing match with a plan until you get hit in the face, like 100%. Like I know that feeling.
Who said the quote?
Someone famous.
Mike Tyson,
Mike Tyson.
the great philosopher.
Did you play adult softball at all? Did you?
So I did. Yeah, in college I did go and played some adult softball. It's where the guys bat left-handed, so it was like co-ed friendly. And our church actually had a softball league like this past little bit, which I didn't get to be a part of that, but ton of fun. I love the game. And I don't think I'm scared of the ball anymore, but I was definitely ruined in high school.
We're gonna have to test that out. We're gonna have to get a couple gloves and go out there.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's I was never even close to being that good at baseball, so I'd never even they would never think about putting me out in the outfield. That'd be a bad idea.
Well, that's why we invited you on this podcast, Tim.
I appreciate that.
You got invited to a podcast to talk about gloves. Surely you've got a glove story for us. What's that glove story?
So my glove story is the refusal to use gloves, actually. So I played competitive flag football up until probably my mid-30s. And I was the only guy I refused to wear gloves because I caught better without them. They did not help me. I felt like I couldn't feel the ball hit my hands and then grip it. And so I refused to wear them. I would the only time I would wear them is if it was really windy out where my hands were slippery. But even in snow or rain, I would not wear gloves. I would catch barehanded because I felt like I was a better receiver without them. So it was when you first told me about gloves, that was the story I thought of. Was I hated them. I refused to wear them. And even like if you do find me outside doing any sort of landscaping, I actually don't like wearing gloves then either. I have to feel what I am doing with my hands in order to be effective, I think.
Don't feel the briars.
I mean, if I'm picking rose bushes, I mean, I'm not stupid. Like I'm gonna make sure I protect myself. But yeah, in general, I'm not a big fan of using football gloves. And the only person that I can think of in the NFL that was like that was Tim Brown. He did not wear gloves. Yeah.
Classic.
Tim Brown, Tim Muir.
I know it must be a Tim thing, right? He went to Notre Dame. I went to Metro State, but I mean, we ended up in the same place, kind of, sort of.
Did you say competitive flag football into your 30s? Was that an accurate?
Oh yeah, I actually played into my not for money, but I played flag football up to last year. I was playing a little bit, which was I actually have video proof of some nasty running on my part. But yeah, I played for money through my probably mid 30s.
Is this like 7-on-7, 5-on-5?
It's all versions. So 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 8-on-8, and 6-on-6.
What's your favorite number of people to have in a flag football game?
When I got older, it was 4-on-4 because it's a smaller field and the speed was sort of eliminated from. I mean, you still could have speed, but I didn't have it, and with a smaller field, you don't have to worry about it as much. But younger, by far, 8-on-8. I loved 8-on-8 full contact. I loved it.
Full contact flag football?
Yeah, so you couldn't bear down on someone down the sideline and just knock them out of bounds, but like it was full blocking. You could get blindsided, which happened.
I mean, you're wearing helmets?
No, nothing.
Is a blindside like a basketball screen type?
No, you could have someone full on like block you with their shoulder as you're like running for the play. Like the blocks or the plays that are outlawed in tackle football today, the NFL, like blindside blocks and stuff, that was all legal when I played in flag football.
Dangerous
Wild
sport.
times.
Man.
Most people were pretty cool about it. You know, they knew that we had day jobs, but you would go travel to these money tournaments, and it was, you better have your head on a swivel.
You ever win any money, Tim?
Yeah, I won about $5,000 total in my career.
Nice.
Yeah,
The IRS does listen to this podcast, so
Yeah.
make sure you report that on all the appropriate tax documents.
Yeah. I did not report that.
All right, Matt, what do we got? You got some winter gloves on.
I call these my wet bandit gloves. I'm a huge fan of Home Alone. These make me think of the Wet Bandits, and I think, yep, I could have been a member of the Wet Bandits. Which is my segue actually to our next topic. It's a movie segment. So when we're thinking about gloves related to movies, obviously we think about the iconic Danny Glover.
Glover.
So courtesy of ChatGPT, I did a little research. Hey, come up with, I'd like for us to actually have a little debate here. What are the top 5 Danny Glover movies of all time? All right, so I've got a couple suggestions. Really, we're just going to rank the top 5, right? So we're going to assume these are the top 5 because I wasn't sure how far you guys could go on Danny Glover. I assume you've seen every movie he's ever put out, but
In prep for the glove episode.
That's right. Yeah, just a little background research. So we got Lethal Weapon. He was Roger Murdaugh alongside Mel Gibson. We got The Color Purple. That was Danny Glover was Albert, delivering a powerful performance in a story based on Alice Walker's, Predator 2. I think that's got to be a contender.
Oh, yeah.
He was Mike Harrigan in that. We got To Sleep with Anger.
Don't know about that one.
That was a 1990. It earned critical acclaim. So maybe. And then, not to bias you guys too much, but Angels in the Outfield is by far my top choice. So, have you seen any of those movies? Would be my first question.
I have seen all of them except for The Color Purple and the other one that was critically acclaimed. I didn't see that one.
To Sleep with Anger.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Got it.
Same.
So, do you have an initial kind of feeling? Hey, which of these is the best Danny
Yeah,
Glover film?
Lethal Weapon.
Is this like best by popularity or the best in our opinion?
This is the Fun Hog standard. It's still evolving, and just literally whatever you think right now.
Lethal Weapon, for sure. I mean, it dwarfs Angels in the Outfield. No offense, Matt. Yeah, it's got to be. And I would put every Lethal Weapon in front of Angels of the Outfield.
How many lethal weapons? Wasn't there like a lethal weapon 33 and a half or something ridiculous?
Yeah. I think it got up to 4 or 5.
I'm gonna guess 4 with the main characters.
Yeah, they milked that thing good.
They could have done it more.
Butch, do you have any strong feelings though? Are you going lethal weapon, Angels in the Outfield? What you got?
Predator 2.
Predator 2.
Yeah. The Predator movies, I mean, I enjoyed somewhat like scary sci-fi-y movies, and Predator 2, those, they're part of my childhood. Maybe I probably shouldn't have been watching them when I was real young, but I did, and that's who I am. And,
shaped you to who you are today.
Yeah, and I really enjoy the Predator movies myself.
Yeah,
so,
those are good movies.
That's my top one. But I would rank number 2, Angels in the Outfield. Lethal Weapon, yes, very memorable, but it's Angels in the Outfield, man.
Yeah.
That's just a childhood favorite.
There you go. All right. Well, I don't know that we actually answered that, but we'll see. I've also got the 3 worst Danny Glover movies of all time. Oh. And I'm just curious if you guys have ever heard of these, because if you've seen them, then you watch way too many movies. We've got Gone Fishing.
Who's? I think I have seen that. Who else is in that?
1997, alongside Joe Pesci.
I believe I have seen that. Yes.
This film was poorly received by critics and audiences alike.
Yeah.
For its lackluster humor and weak storyline. We also
I feel like that's a movie I rented at Hastings in college one weekend. It feels like it. I can't remember for certain. But
was Hastings that iconic Blockbuster competitor?
I mean, Hastings. So Hastings was not the iconic one. I think Blockbuster and Movie Gallery, those were the 2 big ones, at least in my neck of the woods. But when I went to college at Auburn, they had a Hastings, and they had a huge rental section, and then they had a huge, you could buy used DVDs. DVDs were brand new to us, so, calm down.
Yeah.
And VHSs,
Was this like was it like the Dollar General of movie rentals?
It wasn't that. No, it wasn't like that. It was legit. It would be a Blockbuster competitor, but it was not all over the U.S. It was only in certain cities, but it was more like a department store where they had different departments, like a music department and instrument department. They kind of had all sorts of different things just when it came to entertainment, and
that's cool.
It was a cool place, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still around, but it was a fun place to go hang out in college and go rent movies.
Kind of the original shop local there, right? I mean, you were trying to support your local businesses.
I was trying.
Yeah. I think that Netflix thing worked out pretty good, but not really sure.
Yeah.
All right. Second terrible Danny Glover movie submission is Age of the Dragons, 2011.
No.
Never seen it.
This was a retelling of Herman Melville's Moby Dick, set in a world of dragons where Glover stars as Captain Ahab.
I've not seen that. Not seen that one.
It was criticized for low-budget production, poor special effects, and lackluster script, which is pretty much everything for a movie. All right, last but, actually maybe least, is The Cookout.
Nope.
I don't know if I know that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a 2004. Danny Glover played a small role as Coach Ashmokum.
Ashmokum. I'm certain you didn't pronounce that right, but go ahead.
Film received negative reviews for its cliched storyline, stereotypical characters, lack of genuine humor, failing to make a significant impact. So,
Danny Glover.
Danny, wherever you are out there, hey, good job. Keep making the good movies. Sometimes you're going to put a dud out there. Appreciate your contribution to gloves all over the world.
Danny Glover.
Thank you,
Amen.
Danny.
Amen.
So, let's ask this: in lieu of other movies across the spectrum, what's the most iconic glove or gloves that you can think about in a movie?
Oh, what was that? What was that movie with the Power Glove, the Nintendo Power Glove? It was Fred Savage was in it. He had the power
French
glove.
Savage Fred.
Fred Savage. Remember he had the power glove? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna
He's
have
so bad.
Yeah. Power glove movie.
How about The Wizard? Circa 1990s.
The Wizard?
Yes.
That
it's
is
called The
it. That
Wizard.
is it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know about this, Matt?
I can vaguely picture it in my head, but not really. No.
All right.
If you were a gamer, you watch this.
Yeah, this was my childhood. I watched it multiple times as a wee little lad, and it's about like this group of kids that has like this. The youngest of the kids is like a video game prodigy, and I don't want to spoil it too much, but
It came out in 1990. I think you're okay. We're
there might be some people
34
here
years in.
that want to go watch The Wizard. It's available on YouTube. Pretty sure you can find it.
For free.
Or wherever you
Probably
can
for
get your
free.
VHSs. Yeah.
Or VHS, yeah. So this whiz kid, they're like two friends are taking this little one to like a Nintendo championship, like a world championship, and along the way they stop at these stops and they'll play video games, arcade games along the way. And at one of their stops, there was this kid he's kind of like the rich kid that was like real cool, wearing like all black. I feel like he had sunglasses on. Maybe I'm wrong there, but he came in with this like full on like fancy case, like a case that you would put like film equipment in, right? That's going to protect stuff. Walks in, this like real somber music. Everybody stops talking. They're looking at him. He comes in, pops it open, and he pulls out this Power Glove. It's the Nintendo Power Glove, the original.
Yes.
And you see him kind of checking it out, and he plays Rad Racer. So he's over here with his fist, like turning the wheel, just all intense. And he did a fantastic job on Rad Racer, which, by the way, has a fantastic soundtrack. If you're into NES games, that's one of my favorites. And but the Power Glove is so bad.
I used to have it in grade school, and I would take it to school with me and wear it.
Hide it in your bag, or you actually got on the bus with it on.
Oh yeah, and I'd wrap the cord around my arm, and then I would tuck and I would wear it. Oh yeah, I was a cool kid in grade school. I'll tell you that. I was got beat up after school for that one.
So I also had a Power Glove growing up, but I never could get it to like work properly. So I would always just play it with my fingers because it had like a D-pad and stuff on here. But one other Power Glove story moment. Our friend, some of us know this guy, but Mr. Brandon Morgado, out of college, he had a website called zerosign.net where he did a lot of his personal electronic projects. I think he had an electronics engineering degree, and he took a Power Glove and took a gyro mouse and took the electronics out of a gyro mouse, connected it up to a Power Glove, and actually had a functioning mouse that he could use on like a PC. It was fantastic. He could play games and stuff with it. But
before his time.
Yeah. Brandon Morgado, props to you on the Power Glove mouse.
I gotta get one of those.
We'll have to go back to the Wayback Machine and see if we can link to it in the show notes.
Yes. The story about taking the Power Glove to middle school, that actually reminded me, this is pretty embarrassing, but I'm just going to go ahead and let it rip. I was pretty skinny in middle school. I was also very, very short. I'm 5'10" now, but I was very short. I don't think I hit 5 foot until high school. So I was very short all through middle school. My childhood was just dominated by the sense of being short, and so I was really skinny, and I think as a byproduct of that, I've always been just a little bit colder, just I don't know, during the winter and whatnot. So I loved sweatpants in middle school, and my mom had gotten me these jeans, and I really hated jeans when I was a kid.
Me too.
But
I was not a jeans guy.
Because I was so skinny, they just didn't fit very good, and so they were a little bit too loose. And so what I would do, I would wear sweatpants under my jeans to middle school.
Nice.
Like, the outside looks good and the inside feels good, which is what you're going for. So,
You should have gotten into fashion and made them.
Yeah, sweatpants inside of jeans. It's probably coming back,
Yeah, yeah. Did your sweatpants hang out down the bottom so you could see? Like it was on the bottom of the jean.
I think I was on Team High Water, so they didn't actually, leak out down there. But
Nice. So what are those? What are those gloves right there?
these gloves, these are just good old working gloves right here. These are the prototypical gloves you want in your glove box.
Yeah.
Which got me thinking, like, it's called a glove box, and I don't think I've ever had gloves in my glove box. Tim, what do you have in your glove box?
I have. I think I have my insurance in there, and I think I have my registration and a book about my car that I've never looked at.
Yeah, oil change on page 78.
Yeah. That's about it. I mean, but I do have an interesting story about a car. In Phoenix, there is a woman that I used to work for 10 years ago, and her husband live in Florida. I live in Colorado, and I went to Phoenix. As you know, I took my two boys to Phoenix. We rented a car through Turo, if you know what Turo is. And Turo is like a VRBO for cars. And
Kind of a modern day Hastings, if you will.
Yeah. So I come back to do my review after the car, and the person who rented the car right before me was Louisa Milano, and her husband Townsend Wardlow out of Florida happened to be in Phoenix and rented the exact same car right before I rented it. How's that for a small world? And how I figured that out is the review. I was trying to leave a review, and they had left the last review on the car.
Gotcha. I was like, how do you know this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for, like, they left their wallet in the glove box.
No.
And I'm like, all right, bring it home for us, Tim.
I was looking. I'm like, and I texted her. I'm like, did you guys rent a car in Phoenix? And they said, yeah. And I said, was it a white BMW X3? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I rented the exact same car right after you guys.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Well, Matt, what do you have in your glove box?
I'm a pretty similar to Tim there. I've got registration, insurance, and a car book that has never been touched. Maybe a pen, maybe a couple napkins.
Napkins is pro choice.
Pretty clean glove box, but I don't. I'm not a gun guy, so I don't have a gun or anything. How about you, Butch? You got anything interesting in yours?
In your glove box, I have a bike phone holder. So it sounds weird, but the phone holders that basically can screw onto a bike handle that have spring loaded. You can put your phone in, it'll kind of pop in. I got one of those because my wife would send me to the grocery store with a list of like 50 things, and I've got to go shopping. So I'll leave it there in the glove box. I pull it out, pop it on the little buggy there, put my phone in, and I got my list right there. I'm not having to hold 2 or 3 different things at once. It's just
That's a smart idea.
Really smart.
good to go. And once wireless earbuds were really popular, it made it even better. So I can listen to songs without being connected to the buggy. Good time. So that's the one addition I have in there. I also I've decided I don't keep my insurance card in my glove box. I do keep my registration there, but I keep my insurance card in my wallet. That's
Why?
just me.
Because
it's always with me. I don't have a bunch of other people driving my car right now.
What's the advantage? Yeah, why? Yeah,
why
that
do you
doesn't
need
make
your
sense.
why do you need your insurance if you're?
It's always with me. I don't have to go dig through somewhere if I need my insurance.
So if you're ever at Hastings looking for a movie and they're like, "Man, do you have auto insurance?"
It's right here. Pop it out. It's right there in my little flat wallet. So, I mean, it folds up real nice. It compacts in. It's almost the size of a card. It's great. So, actually, I don't even need it now because I've got the phone that has it on there. But that's just what I've done, and I haven't swapped it in a long time. So, maybe I'm not doing that right, but that's the way I do me.
Seems clever. I think you have +1 on the
Yeah.
phone holder. I'm surprised I've never heard of that. I mean, obviously, spent quite a few years at Shipt and working on grocery delivery, consumed a good bit of my life, and I've never heard of that. So if you're working at Shipt or Instacart out there grocery shopping all the time, I'm surprised I haven't seen that more. Just mount a phone holder to the cart. That'd be really
it just
efficient.
screws on.
If you could if you could put a link in when you post this, a link in that, so we could
Sure,
all
yeah. I'll hook you up.
Or better yet, how about we make one and then sell it? A cart phone holder you can market all around that.
Why don't you get on that? Yeah, you get on that. I'll help you patent it.
I'm trying to do the Power Glove thing. I don't know if I have time for that.
All right, so gloves in a movie. Tim, you got anything?
Gloves in a movie.
Oh, wait, you already answered that. Matt,
Yeah, I was Wizard.
any famous gloves in a movie?
Minority Report's the only one I can even think of. I think Tom Cruise wears one
Yeah,
in there.
like navigating the computer, doing all that cool stuff towards the beginning. Yeah, I think, and I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't know if technically it's a glove. It's more of a gauntlet. But Thanos, he's got the gauntlet with all the Infinity Stones. Matt, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. Do you know about Marvel movies?
I do know about a little bit, but I don't. Gauntlet does not seem like the proper term. Is that the proper term?
The Thanos gauntlet? It feels like it is.
Huh.
I mean, what about the guy? What about the guy who puts the suit on? He has gloves. What about that guy? The guy with the red suit. The
Superman.
superhero. No.
Iron
no.
Man.
Spider-Man.
Iron Man. Who's the actor? Robert Downey Jr. I don't know who it is.
He does have a metal glove, yes.
Yeah.
All superheroes wear gloves, probably.
Almost. Yeah.
Not ones who, not like me, like they need to feel what they're doing. That's a bad idea. Bad idea. I'm telling you.
All the good ones.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I just feel like that might have been a shot at me. That
Maybe.
might have been.
I mean, if you're a superhero, you happen to not wear gloves.
Superheroes in nobody's mind for me. That's not my lot in life.
So I did Google it. It is the gauntlet. That's the technical word for it. I'm not sure why it's called that. I agree. It's kind of weird. It should just be called like the Stony Glove. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Power Glove. I mean, that's kind of like the ultimate Power Glove in Marvel. There you go.
Maybe it was the Power Glove, and they're like, we can't use that.
Yeah,
we gotta-
Nintendo's
taken.
got that.
we got to do something different. Gauntlet. Let's do Gauntlet. Love it.
Awesome. You got anything else, Matt?
I'm out of glove topics. I got one more glove. I brought a baseball, just a good old
Right.
standard baseball
Yeah.
glove.
Right? We didn't talk about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. The glove. That was pretty popular. I mean, people wore gloves because of
It's
him.
like, I mean, sparkly, sequined
Yeah.
lined gloves.
That was a thing. That was a thing in junior high. Kids. I wasn't one of them because again, I wasn't a cool kid. But there was kids that wore.
Like they wore it around
Oh, yeah.
middle school?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I saw that.
Not high school. High school that would have gone down. But middle school, yeah, there was a few.
You're rocking your power gloves, and the cool kids had Michael Jackson gloves.
That was grade school. By the time I got into junior high, I figured that I'm done getting beat up, so I'm going to just go ahead and not wear the power glove. But
I mean, he went from like wearing glove all the time to no longer ever wearing gloves.
No,
Yeah.
This is childhood.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I think this feels like a therapy session.
yeah, this is therapy. There needs to be a couch. Let me lay down, and I'll tell you all my grade school problems and shaped me to who I am today.
Well, let's jump into our weekly what. Our weekly what this week is what book are you reading or have you read recently? Matt, we'll go with you first.
Recently had our vacation. I like to read like one fiction book a year, and so sometimes I let my wife pick it out for me, and she did this time. I can't remember exactly why, but it was James Patterson. Really struggling with the name of it. Cross Justice, maybe? Something like that. The main character is Alex Cross. He's a detective, and there's kind of all this tomfoolery going on in North Carolina. Kind of a murder mystery type.
Nice.
Kind of a beach read. We didn't go to the beach, but that's the spirit of it for me.
Yeah.
So, little summer beach read.
Are you enjoying it?
Five out of 10. It was great while we were, there on vacation. It occupied my time. I don't know if I'm going to finish it though.
We're not trying to put you in the doghouse here, Matt.
It's all good.
You love it. You love it.
What are you reading right now, Tim?
So nothing. To be honest, I'm not reading anything. I used to be a pretty avid reader, leadership books when I was probably in my late 20s, early 30s, and totally got out of it. And it's funny, we had a garage sale and we had a bunch of books in there, and there was a bunch of leadership books that people have gifted to me that I haven't actually read yet. And I told my wife, I'm like, no, don't get rid of those. I'm going to take back up the habit of reading. So that's my goal for the rest of
2027.
Yeah, no, before then, to read a couple of books. But yeah, I used to read a lot more than I do now. I don't read at all now.
Sounds good. Well, we're halfway through the year, so now's a good time to make some new resolutions or renew those resolutions. If you had book goals, start up.
Yeah.
Even if you're way behind, just do something.
I got to start off with the cliff notes and then work my way up to the full book.
Or maybe write a book. How about a book on adults who play competitive flag football and don't wear gloves?
I have toyed with the idea of writing a book, and then I realized I can't really write very well, so that doesn't really.
He needs gloves to write well.
I told my mom one time, 15 years ago, I said, I think I'm going to write a book, and she goes, "Oh, honey, you can't write. You shouldn't do that." So that kind of crushed my dream. But now that she's gone, maybe I'll bring it back up since no one will tell me not to do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 books that I've finished over the past couple weeks. And these, I'm cheating a little bit, but I'm not. They're audiobooks. One was the autobiography of George Mueller. George Mueller was a preacher slash, he basically lived off of donations and created a whole lot of, what's the word? I can't think of it. Kids that, their parents have passed away, orphanages. He basically built up huge orphanages over, I believe, in England or, not here in the U.S., kind of over on the other side of the world. And I don't know, just his life, the way he talked about his life is just very interesting, very inspirational. And then another book, this goes to Mr. Matt Anderegg. Me and him have been listening through a series. It's actually multiple sagas. So the saga is like a 15-book series, and we're on the third 15-book series, and I think it's like book 7 or book 6, called A Few Against Many by an author called Rick Brown. But it is like, think of it kind of like sci-fi, just with a really good story. Like everything's about AIs and cloning and all this stuff, but it's just like new age sci-fi, way in the future. Great book series. Things
cool.
are like cooking up here, towards the end of the series.
So you're like on book 52 or something?
It'd be like book 40 something, like 41 or 42.
Wait, this year?
No, not this year. This saga has been going on for a long time. I finished book 6 or 7 in the third saga, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, as they release, I'll listen to them. We use Hoopla to go listen to him, but he's still writing and recording, the last few. But as they get written, we listen to him. It's a good time. We'll link to it in the show notes if you're curious. You want to check it out, but. It's a lot of hours. 10 to 12 hours per book. So it's not like crazy long books, but it's pretty big commitment if you want to go through it. But it's been a lot of fun. We've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years, 5 years at this point. So
that's awesome.
That is awesome, and it's going to be a minute before I get to that level.
It's an audiobook, man. You just, instead of listening, turn on the radio or listening to, the Fun Hog podcast, you just turn on the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe after the Fun Hog podcast.
Yeah, after. Yeah, of course.
That's right. Love it.
Awesome. Well, let me give you an update on my running challenge. Matt. So we've been talking about this. My goal is like couch to 5K. I've been going through this. Last go around, Matt encouraged me to just pick a day and go do it on that day. So I did that. I picked another day. I went and did it on that day. Picked another day. I went and did it on that day. And that was very helpful. By that third run, though, like my body was like, it was hurting. It was good. Hurting in a good way. But I will say like my knees, I definitely feel my knees way more than I have before, but I also feel the rest of my muscles actually like hurting rather than just me not being able to run to where they hurt because of the shin fire. That's shin fire. You know what that is, Tim, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay,
shin splints. Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked to a guy at church, and he encouraged me. Oh, I'm all blurry. Here we go. He encouraged me to get some of these things, some compression sleeves for the calves. He said this really helped with his shin splints. So got some of those. We're gonna test those out and see how it goes. But I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I'm not ready to commit to a date yet to go do a 5K, but I did start thinking about what I would like that to look like. Can we talk
That's
about
awesome.
that for a minute?
Yeah. Well, first off, are you wearing the compression sleeves while running or post run or what?
This will be while I'm running is the plan. I haven't worn them yet. These just came in like the other day. So, yeah.
In my experience, they're more effective after running.
All right.
I mean, nothing wrong with wearing them while you're running, but when you're running, your blood's pumping at a much faster rate, and so it's more about blood flow afterwards. I often use them if I'm on a flight, or when I was traveling to Denver a pretty good bit, the altitude difference there would bother me a little bit more. So, yeah.
Good to know.
Nothing, but not going to hurt anything to wear them while running, other than just maybe you get a little bit hotter. But
Sure.
And Butch, before you get into, are you running every day right now?
No.
How many days a week?
Like 2 to 3.
Good for you, man.
So
That is awesome.
we're trying. There is a guy. There's a guy that I know apparently because he knows my name. He yells at me when I see him. I don't know who it is yet, but random guy that drives down the road and yells "Go Butch" and gives me a little horn honk. I appreciate you, dude, and keep doing that. That's encouraging to me. So
That's awesome.
I don't know who it is yet though. Like I tried to catch his face once. I know it's a dude. I'll just say that. But,
No, it's a dude.
yeah. And he's
That's
got to live
awesome.
around here somewhere, so it's somebody I know.
could we name this guy? I mean, just
Yeah.
like what if we just went ahead and named him that way? When you hear him yell next time, you just say like, Randy.
I mean, I know who it is. I'm sure. I haven't been able to catch his face and see his face.
How about Randy until
Randy.
it tells you different.
Randy. Let's
until
go,
we know
Randy.
better? Yeah.
If you know where he lives, I can give you his name. I can find it that way. I mean, if you need some help, I can stalk some people for you.
I don't know if we're at that point yet, but
All right, you let me know.
I was thinking with the 5K, I would like to just have a fun hog 5K, and it's not going to be crazy. Like we're not going to have like 15 stations or anything. It's just going to be a group of friends that get together, and there'll be a start line, and there'll be 2 finish lines. There'll be one for the winner, and there'll be one for me because I won't win. But I do want to break the toilet paper or whatever with my hands in the air, So
I like it.
that's my only thing I care about. But I've got some committers like Brandon Morgado. He said he'd come and run it, and I'm sure there's other people that would come too. As we continue to plan things, just know that that's what I'm thinking.
The Fun Hog 5K. I like it.
A 5K is that 3.5 mile? What is a 5K?
3.1.
Okay, good. That's that might be doable for me.
Tim, you go fly to Birmingham for this?
I wouldn't say no to it. I wouldn't say no to it.
But I wouldn't say
I wouldn't
yes.
say yes yet.
When was your last 5K?
Mine?
Yeah. When was the last time you just ran a 5K?
The last time I ran competitively was it's called a race called the Boulder here in Denver, and I was I don't know 8th grade.
That's a 10K, right?
10K, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last time I ran. So I used to actually have really good endurance, and then my wife when she was playing college basketball, she's like, I just need to run some laps, and I'm like, I'll crush her doing this because I can't beat her in basketball, right? And she beat me, and I stopped running after that. I couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle the shame.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah, that was rough. It was rough.
Well, hey man, I got a little bit of listener feedback, and then we'll be shutting this thing down. So, I'll start here from our last episode, from our bacon episode. Mr. John, who is the Wacky Fun magazine guy. Yeah, he messaged us. He said bacon definitely lived up to the anticipation, so he's really excited about it. I love Butch versus AI. Thanks for the shout out. Hope you like the magazine. Here's my take on the acrostic. If y'all remember the acrostic, he says, I normally make sentences of the letters. He said, bacon. Butch always chooses over nuggies. Nuggies as in chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And he did confirm with me. He asked me. He's like, hey, you prefer bacon or chicken nuggets? So he fact checked it. And so appreciate that, John, for reaching out to us. Got a couple other things. As I was talking about bacon through the week, I actually had Miss Emily. She told me about her bacon story. She went camping that previous weekend and didn't bring any oil or butter, but she did have bacon. So she just sizzled up some bacon, used that grease to cook all the other stuff in there.
Yeah.
And she said it was some of the best meals of her life.
Yeah. It works well. I've actually done that.
So there you go. Bacon grease is a thing, Matt.
Best of her life, man.
I'm just reading what she's saying. And then last but not least, Mr. Jonathan Leftwich. This is my meat mentor second. We appreciate you, Jonathan.
No, 1B.
Yeah, 1B.
Yeah.
So he said he gave us some feedback on the bacon episode. Number 1, great episode. Can never go wrong with bacon. I can't agree more. Number 2, if you're going to say bacon isn't fun to cook, let's dig into the why. Matt?
Why isn't bacon fun to cook? Oh man, it creates a mess. So it's a high cleanup, and I mean the deliciousness of bacon makes it worth it. But yeah, the mess to volume of food that you get is pretty high. So
How are you cooking this thing? I mean, what are you doing?
frying pan.
Oh, no. You can do it on a flat top. You can do it in a Traeger, or you can do it in your oven. You don't have to use a pan.
Yeah, we went through that. I do like oven bacon. I'm not ever personally going to put it in the oven though. I'm going frying pan personally. My wife,
but it's worth it. You will still do it.
Absolutely.
But it's a pain to clean up and
Yeah.
disposing of the grease. It's not ever fun. Yeah, all that. All right, number 3, bacon on donuts. Thoughts?
It's good. Maple donuts.
Yeah.
Maple donuts with bacon. Money.
yeah, you kind of need a little bit of a. I'm trying to think of the right food term, but you need an offsetter, right? Like it's obviously so much goodness in there. You need like a bitter, almost kind of flavor on the donut. Is that the right? That's not quite the right.
No, you don't want bitter.
There's
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty fire just the way it is.
like
Maple.
a caramelly. I don't know.
Maple. I think maple is the flavor. Maple bacon
Yeah.
stuff. A little salty. So Jonathan tells us his groom cake was a pyramid of bacon donuts. So he knows it's good.
We're
He
gonna
knows
need
it's good.
We're gonna need pictures of that.
Yeah,
I
need
love
a
it.
pic.
Yeah. Send us a picture.
Yeah.
We'll show it up here. And 4th, he says, Canadian bacon is not ham. Offensive to ham lovers everywhere. Well, Mr. Jonathan, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna go back to what Matt said. It looks like ham. It tastes like ham.
Yeah, I thought it was ham.
It's a ham.
Well, like he said, it's offensive to ham lovers. Like I've never met a ham lover. I mean,
Hamburger lover, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ham lover.
right? I mean, ham's great. I got nothing against ham. I'm not here to pick a bone with ham, but I've never met someone who identifies as a ham lover.
And maybe Jonathan is. Okay, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Hey, if you're a ham lover and you're hearing this right now, send us an email, howdy@funhog.com. Let us know. Tell me why we're wrong. maybe we'll even get you on the show. Jonathan, maybe you come on here and you tell the world why Canadian bacon is okay or it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me. You come on, you share your thoughts. I know my experiences, but I want to hear about yours. And I'm open. I'm
Open-minded, yeah.
I'm
We're not trying to offend people. Yeah.
Maybe we are.
Hand
we
lovers.
we will let our opinions be known. But yeah. So that is that is the feedback for this week. So
Love it, man. That was a lot. So
Awesome.
lots of listeners out there. Oh, we got to spin that wheel, Butch.
oh, buddy, I forgot about that. I didn't forget
What-
about it.
What's
Oh,
the
you don't
wheel?
know about the wheel. This is the wheel.
This is how
Okay.
this is how we pick our word for next week.
So I've replaced glove with fire.
So I'll be on next week? I mean, how does this work? Now I'm like, this is, I'm here every week now, right?
All right, we're gonna spin the wheel. Here we go.
Fire.
No, no, it was on this one.
Brunch.
Brunch?
Brunch.
Okay, so what time next week are we doing this?
It was close to fire. It was close to
Brunch time.
brunch time.
I'm just gonna ask this question. The link you sent me, like that's
It,
the same.
it expires.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Might need to test that one out.
It doesn't.
I would have shown.
We can go make a new studio though. We know how to make it expire. But,
Tim,
so yeah,
it's been fabulous having you on, man. We always like to give our guests a chance to have a shout out. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I would. I shout out Luisa Milano and Townsend Wardlow, but I would like to shout out my neighbor, and you guys actually know him, Chad Laverty. Right before this podcast, I was hanging a fan in my patio, and because Chad is just an awesome individual and knows that I can't do anything, comes over and he's like, "Do you need some help?" And my wife in the kitchen going, "Yes, he does. Can you make sure he doesn't electrocute himself?" And Chad stayed and helped me hang my fan out in my patio.
What a guy! He's incredible. Probably didn't even need a stool to put the fan.
Did not. You did not. I was on a ladder. He's like, "I don't need one." I'm like, "Thanks, bud."
Yeah.
Got it. He's like 7 foot tall.
awesome. Well, I will show off. These are the stickers that we have. So
Yeah.
if you would like a sticker, Tim will
I will.
send you one. If you're an audience member and you can't see the sticker, but you'd like a round sticker that says Fun Hog Podcast, send us an email. Let us know. Send me your address. I'll pay the extra few cents that the post office charges me now. Stamps went up. Can you believe that? Again.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. But I'll pay for it. I'll cover shipping. You just give me your address. I'll send you a sticker. I
Awesome.
think that's all we got, man. Thanks for spending some time with us. I'm Butch.
I'm Matt. Go forth and hog
Hog
some fun.
fun.